cast your minds back, if you will, to the heady days of 2005, in which most video games tended to look a little like this. They didn't all have this cover, of course, and they weren't all called Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, but they did all come in these style of boxes. Often known as the DVD case, or the Keep case, or the Amare case. This one is broken. Brilliant. I was going to demonstrate an Amare case then, but well, that'll have to wait for another time. But anyway, the idea is it's just this small plastic box, and inside you get a manual and a key, apparently, and the game on a single disc. Sometimes you get it on multiple discs, sometimes they'll be slightly thicker and have numerous discs inside, but for the most part they were released in a DVD style box, similar to what you would get a film in, for example. And they were convenient because you could stack them all, they were all the same size, and they were all really quite boring. Anyway, that's what we had post the big box PC game era, and that's what we've been stuck with until, well, pretty much until now. We're still getting games in these style of boxes. They're slightly different these days, but they are pretty much compatible with these, I suppose. So yeah, this is what we've had in the UK at least, and I'm pretty sure in the US that was the thing as well, but in other parts of the world it turns out things were a little different. And to demonstrate this, I have a copy of one of my absolute favourite games of all time. Let's just move this out of the way. Sid Meier's Civilization 4. You will note that this is a rather large box. Larger, in fact, than the old DVD case, and it is cardboard, and it is a two-part box. And Civilization 4, just to double check, actually this, I don't remember the exact date, I'm pretty sure it was 2005 was Civ 4. This box wasn't released until 2007, so it's even later than the aforementioned DVD case business. So, isn't that interesting? And just as a slight comparison, if we have a look at Call to Power here, very similar size, not anywhere near as thick though. It's quite a bit thinner and much closer, in fact, to some of the older 80s style big boxes you used to get. Not that I have too many of those, but you get the idea. Same width, same height, but not quite as deep as a classic PC big box. But the question is, what do you get inside? Well, let's take a look, shall we? But first we need to look around the rest of the box. So, the front of it, Sid Meier's Civilization 4. This is the same artwork as was on the old DVD release. And indeed it is a DVD, as it says. And in case you hadn't quite worked out where this is from, we've got a load of Deutsch here, which I can't read. But I'm guessing it says something like this is the new high point for turn-based strategy games, or Rundenstrategie. That is, in fact, the best turn-based strategy game of all time, it says. I'm guessing. We've just got logos and stuff, and, well, pretty plain. Other than that, nice artwork. In a very high resolution. It has definitely been, like, it's not scaled up, you know, it's not like they just took the DVD box and just went whap. It's actually properly high resolution. You can even see little photos of people here in the, whatever this is, the forum, I guess. So, that is a thing. And around the back we've got, well, I mean, it's kind of funny because this game is actually a lot older than this box is, and yet it's talking about how new it all is, how neue it all is. But you see we've got some pictures of the old leaders as they were in Civ 4. New original soundtrack. Yeah, kind of. There were some original tracks in there, but it wasn't all original. It wasn't like Civ 3 where it was all just original music. This was mostly flipping classical music that they just re-recorded, or licensed probably. But there was some original stuff in there, and later on they did nick some music from Civ 3 just to bulk it out a bit. Unfortunately, can't read any of this because I don't read German, which is a shame. Let's take a quick look inside and then I will discuss this style of box, because there really isn't that much inside. It is just a jewel case. There is, oh my goodness, there's a raisin in here, that's nice. How did that get in there? I will have to exercise that, that's gross. But anyway, that was the receipt. I don't even eat raisins, how did that get in there? Well, anyway, just in case you're wondering, this cost me like 20 euros. But it would have been cheaper, but I had to ship it from Germany, and you know, c'est la vie. So again, Civ 4, and it's got pretty much all the same stuff on the back, and inside is the game on a single DVD-ROM. What you unfortunately don't get is a manual. Sorry, I was just reading this. It does appear to say that if you want some sort of manual, it's on the disc and you'll need Acrobat Reader to read it, because presumably it's a PDF on the DVD. So you don't get a manual, you do not get any sort of tech tree or anything like that. Just to go back to Call to Power, I believe, as a comparison, with Call to Power you got all this stuff, including a full tech tree on a poster and a big thick manual. And really, a game like this I would have thought would include a proper manual, but well, it's a PDF on the disc and they probably didn't bother, because I've not really managed to find a great deal of information on this style of box, but I am aware that it is referred to as the Eurobox style, and there are a handful of other games that I have seen released in this format. The one that springs to mind is Assassin's Creed, the Director's Cut, which was released in this style. And it seems just like a handful of games around 2007 and 2008 were released in a larger box like this, which I personally find quite fascinating. One of the things that I love to collect in my big box collection is unusual items, and that goes for the rest of my game collection, to be honest. Not just big boxes, but with big boxes you do tend to find some unusual pieces like this, and I do have another game from Australia that was released in a proper big box after big boxes weren't on vogue anymore. So, an interesting piece, despite the fact that there's not a whole lot in it. But wait! That's not all. Because you may be wondering, well, Civ 4 had quite a few expansion packs. Well, 2 expansion packs. Are they represented in this format? Now, I have not found any evidence that they were released separately as big boxes. However, I do have this, and this is the Civ 4 Add-on Doppelpack. And it actually kind of makes sense, because if that was only released in 2007, well, I think the second expansion, Beyond the Sword, was released in 2008. I believe 07 or 08, so it wasn't that long after this box was released. The first expansion, Warlords, was already out when this box was brought to market, presumably. So Beyond the Sword wasn't too far away, and so it kind of made financial sense to release it all in one in this larger format. I still don't quite get why this exists anyway, but it does, and so we have it, and it is sealed. And you know what we do with sealed boxes on this channel. Let's get it open. It is actually kind of struggling a little bit under the packaging, so I want to free it. And actually, I don't think I need to use the knife because there's already an incision, but I will have it to hand just in case. And I will try and show you the whole unboxing process because it's important. Actually, I'm kicking myself a little bit because I did have a sealed Hexen which I managed to get for a really good price. Original box, it wasn't like a slash release or anything, it was a little bit damaged. I attempted to film myself recording that, and well, I lost the footage. I think either I lost the footage or I ended up doing it all off camera, so you would have ended up missing it all. But here we are, the Add-on Doppelpack, and that could have gone worse. It is the same size as the original release, just about, if you could see it. And again, big box. Go all quite nicely together on the shelf, look. Inside, I am suspecting that it's going to be absolutely identical, and indeed it is. The disc is still sealed. Go on then. There's nothing else really in there, but might as well have a peek and see if there is anything hiding in this sealed jewel case. If I can get it open. I hate opening jewel cases. There's never a good place to go at it with a knife. You have to just keep picking at the corners until you get this seal off. And even then, it probably only gets a strip. Yeah, it's a right pain. It's an absolute pain, is this. But we will persevere, and we will get inside and see what it looks like. For the sake of completion. Eventually. There we are. Doesn't help that the camera's not at a great angle here, so I'm somewhat improvising. Turns out my tripod is not very good at pointing downwards. Who'd have thought it, eh? Alright. Brand new. Never been touched by human hands until this day. Civilization 4 Add-on Doppelpack. And again, oh, it actually comes on separate discs. So once again, we've got the same stuff here, but with some contact details this time, saying that, well, presumably, actually it doesn't say anything about, oh, it does say the handbook is on the DVD, so there is no manual again. But the expansions are separate, and weirdly, Beyond the Sword is first and Warlords is second. I would have thought you'd have to install them the other way around since this one came out first, but there you go. And that is the Civ 4. We now have a complete Civ 4 in big box. I don't think there's much point in me installing this on a real computer because it'll just look like a standard setup program. I don't think there'll be anything exciting about it. And it'll probably be virtually identical to the copy you can get on Steam and GOG anyway, so, well, whatever, man. So there we are, that's the complete Civ 4 big box saga. Or is it? Because those of you who are in the know may be aware that there is another Civ 4 piece of, well, there is another Civ 4 product, and it's not Civ 4, it just happens to have the Civ 4 name and the same engine, but we will discuss it anyway because it is part of the lineage. Colonization. It's actually called Civilization 4 Colonization, but like I say, it's not Civ 4, and it does not, it doesn't even need Civ 4 installed, it just uses the same engine, but it's a completely different game. And it has different characters, and it's got different setting, and it's all very exciting. Anybody who's played the original Colonization, you could probably get an idea of what it's all about. But it's in 3D. And yeah, similar sort of deal. It's Colonization, high-res, yep, very nice high-res artwork. On a DVD once again, and same old stuff once again, probably the same stuff as was on the DVD case. And this one appears to be from 2009, which I think tracks with the release of Colonization. So this was contemporaneous with its release, but I could be wrong that Col might have been like 2008 or something, but I'm fairly sure it was released after all of that. And, well, this one isn't sealed, so let's just have a quick look inside, and once again we've got the same old nothing. There's nothing under there, and Once again, let's get it out and not tear the cardboard up. Yeah, pretty much the same information once again, and oh, this time it's games for Windows. Ah! Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much the same sort of deal. Manual on the disc, no physical manual, all very nice indeed. So, now that we've scrutinised these boxes to within an inch of their life, I am, to be honest, even more curious about what this format is all about. It seems to me, with the lack of manual and the lack of pack-ins, it's certainly not a collector's edition type thing, is it? If it was, then it would have all sorts of other feelies inside, much like you got in the Call to Power release, for example, and the other Civs before this one. I'm not actually sure. I don't have a DVD copy of Civ 4. I don't have any of them. This is the only physical copy that I have, I think. I did have a quick look through my DVD collection, which is all in a box, and didn't see it, and I don't recall actually owning it. So I don't know what is included in that original DVD-style release. It's possible that there was a tech tree, and it's probable that there was a manual, which makes it a little bit more puzzling as to why it wasn't included in this. I know it's a later release, but it does have a weird budget feel. It does feel as if it was released a few years later and it's not got as much in it. The only thing that's differentiating it and making it not seem like such a budget release is the fact that it's in a big box. And say what you want, it's a little bit thin and it's a little bit empty, but it is a big box release. Which, I don't know, it just seems odd. I don't know why they bother. Is it just for crazy people like me who like big boxes? It's obvious that there was a market for this in Germany, because, like I said, I've seen other games, Assassin's Creed, for example. There are a few others that escape me at the minute, but yeah, I mean, if anybody knows about this Eurobox format and why it was a thing and why a handful of games were released, it doesn't seem like every game was released like this, but there were a handful of them. If I had to guess, I would probably guess that it was a bit like the Sam's Club budget games in the US, because shortly, like within the early 2000s up till about 2004, maybe 2005, games were released in a proper big box format, but in very select situations. And there was Sam's Club, which was a retail shop. I believe it wasn't like a mail order thing. It was an actual shop, and they had them on the shelf. And Sims 2 and Sims 2 University were released in a big box, for example, as well as Call of Duty 2, I want to say. And I believe there were also some exclusive big box games in Walmart. Not 100% sure. And so, if I had to guess, I would probably say this was a similar sort of deal. Specific shops in Germany selling this particular version of the game. There's nothing on the box to suggest that. And indeed, on this sealed copy, there was no price ticket or anything like that. There were no stickers or labels. So, that also possibly means that these were mail order? That could well be a thing, but then you've got the old ratings and stuff, and mail order games, I'm pretty sure they don't actually need the ratings on them. So, if they were mail order, chances are they wouldn't have had those. The copies of Simon the Sorcerer that I've got, which are mail order, they don't have any rating stuff on them, for example. So those are my two theories. And it's possible that these are just standard old releases and Germany just have big boxes and nobody's aware. That's also a possibility. Anyway, that's about all from that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all for the next one.